it's Jessie. Today I will be drinking Love Rock from Broad Mountain Winery. This is a semi-sweet rosé. It's not like anything super fantastic or special, but it's fun. Well, that's just not gonna be on camera anyway, isn't it? Yeah, that's not, nope, we're not gonna risk that. Today I will be tier ranking Booktube's favorite books of 2021. So if you haven't seen my video yet on this, I would recommend you go and watch it. So I'll link it up there. It's what is the most loved book on YouTube, or the best book of 2021. I don't know what I'm gonna title it yet, but that video, watch that for context. Very, very, very short version. I watched almost 100 Booktube best of videos to determine what the favorite book on Booktube was in 2021. I also did least favorites. Watch that one too, because that's fun too. And today what I'm going to be doing is ranking the ones that I've read. So I haven't read all of them. There were like 700 total individual books, but I have read 66 of them, 65 of them, and that's what I'll be ranking today. So my tiers for here, starting at the bottom, respectfully, no. These are just bad books that I don't understand why they're your favorite, and I'm a little confused. Next up from that is I Love That For You, which is, I probably didn't care for it, but I can see why somebody would. Then we have Overhyped. Overhyped are books that aren't necessarily bad, but Booktube is in love with them and needs to knock it off. Then we go Almost There. These are good books. I think they're quality. I wouldn't say they're worth a favorite for me, but I could see why somebody else might think it's a favorite, and this guy gets it. And these are books that deserve to be somebody's favorite. So we're gonna go. These are in kind of a random order, and we're not starting off strong. First one I have here is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. That goes straight into respectfully, no. This book is not good. I read it with my book club and we all pretty universally hated it. I should keep this really short because there's 60 books to go through, but in this one in particular, I feel the need to defend it because this just doesn't handle mental health well at all. It's very bad representation of anxiety and depression. It also kind of, in my mind, sends the message that like suicide isn't death, it's a do-over, and it's just not good. On the other hand of the spectrum, we have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This guy gets it. Fantastic book. Followed by The Fifth Season. Also, this guy gets it. Alright, then after that we have Eye of the World. Now here's the thing with Wheel of Time books. These are always going to be hard for me to judge because I love them dearly and they have a very special place in my heart and on my bookshelf because of what they mean for me, but it's not so much the books anymore. At this point, my love for Wheel of Time goes beyond the books to the community that I have found around it. So I think I'm gonna put Eye of the World in Almost There. I do think they're quality books, and I do think if that's a fantasy, if you're into epic fantasy, it's such a good bridge between Tolkien-esque older classic fantasy and modern fantasy, but it is one of the weaker books in the entire series. Not like bad by any means. So I'm gonna put it at Almost There. Next we have The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. Same thing. I like it. I think it's good. I'm trying to decide if I should put it down in overhype. No, actually I don't think it really gets that much hype. I do think there was like a time Abercrombie was being like really shoved in everybody's faces for fantasy book too, but I think that's kind of faded. Black Tides of Heaven. This guy gets it. I love Black Tides of Heaven, and I think more people should read them. I also understand why more people don't. 100,000 Kingdoms. Only because I fundamentally think that Fifth Season is a better book, better series. I'm gonna put it in Almost There. House in the Cerulean Sea. Overhyped. Y'all can hate me for this if you want, but it's overhyped. I thought it was cute. I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was saying as much as it thought it was saying, and I just don't think it deserves the hype it gets. Hot take, but so is The Hobbit. The Hobbit's a little overhyped, and not just on Booktube, but in general. I need to reread The Lord of the Rings so I can give it like a proper analysis, because I don't have a big vibe. Hero of Ages, we'll put that one in almost there. I really think most Sanderson is in almost there, if not overhyped. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I'm gonna put that in Love That For You. I read this when I was in high school. I don't really remember it that well. I know I started reading the second book and gave up, like, not that far into it because it just kept going on about math for so long. The Gilded Ones. I'm trying to look at these tiers. I think I'll put the Gilded Ones in This Guy Gets It. I think the Gilded Ones was really good, and I think it's relatively unique for YA fantasy. It takes a lot of the tropes that we know and love and kind of puts them in a new perspective. Final Empire, gonna go ahead and put that in almost there. It's good. Color Purple, This Guy Gets It. I'm going to put The Burning God into almost there. Here's why I'm doing it. I think this deserves to be somebody's favorite, but of the Poppy War trilogy, it's probably my least favorite of them. My favorite by far was Dragon Republic, which I don't think is even here, but Burning God was my least favorite of them. Boy the Mole, the Fox, the Horse, Love That For You. This book did not have the impact on me that it seems to have on so many other people. Song of Achilles, respectfully, no. This could easily go in overhyped, but I feel the need to give it a stronger reaction than just being overhyped. I'm getting all sorts of notifications right now. Oh, somebody's trying to schedule D&D. Anyway, it could definitely go into overhyped, especially this year. Book Talk, like TikTok really made it blow up. I don't get it. Everybody's like, it's the greatest love story, and I'm like, it's abusive and we're supposed to root for it? I at no time in this entire novel rooted for Achilles and Patroclus. At all. Yellow Wallpaper. This one, it's been a little too long since I've read it to really give it a proper view, so I'm gonna go with almost there. To Be Taught If Fortunate, This Guy Gets It. I love To Be Taught. I think that's Rage of Dragons, I Love That For You. This didn't really hit me, and the longer it goes since I've read it, the less I kind of want to read the sequel. I Love That For You though. Words of Radiance, almost there. I again think Sanderson gets a little more love than he necessarily deserves, but Words of Radiance has been my favorite one of the Stormlight Archive so far. If you haven't, check out my reading diaries for those and see my feelings. The Wicker King. This Guy Gets It. Oh. When were you gonna tell me that I put that totally out of line with the rest of them? This Guy Gets It. Scroll on over. The last one here is Starless Sea. This Guy Gets It. Yeah, This Guy Gets It. I like the Starless Sea. I reread it this year and I still love it, so I think that kind of says a lot about the quality of it, that even though I reread it and it still stands up for me. All right, Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. Respectfully, no. I don't think this was ever really hyped that much, so I wouldn't call it overhyped, but it's not good. It kind of trivializes mental health. It's a poor portrayal of the foster care system. It's autism coding, which is a problem, so yeah, not great. Beneath the Sugar Sky, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in almost there because I don't think it's the best of Sean McGuire's. Frankenstein, This Guy Gets It. Every Heart a Doorway, same thing. I'm gonna put that one in almost there. Not my favorite of the Wayward Children series, but it's good. Destin though, I'll put that in I Love That For You. It has been far too long since I have read these to have a strong opinion on it. Assassin's Apprentice, let's put it in This Guy Gets It. Memory of Light, I'll go ahead and put this one up here because I do think it's a fantastic ending, especially if you watch, this is from Literature and Lo-Fi and his like talk through why he thought it deserved to be a favorite was really good. Dune I kind of want to reread. I almost reread it this year with the hype. I just didn't care for it. I thought it was pretty good until about 1/2, 2/3 of the way through, and then I was just bored. I was done. I was like, Paul, I'm sick of you. Let's move on with our lives. Next, oh, this row is looking pretty out of sorts. We have Dracula. This guy gets it. Down Among the Sticks and Bones. This is the way word children's I'd put up in This Guy Gets It. Catherine House. Almost there. I thought it was pretty good. Not quite best status. Black Sun. This Guy Gets It. And that's that row. Also throw, yeah, there's a few more I'm going to put up there. So let's go ahead, shrink this down. Now that we've made some space. Becoming by Michelle Obama. This Guy Gets It. Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. This one's in a weird place for me because I really, really loved it when I finished it last year, but Netflix recently put out their limited series on it and I watched it and it's making me doubt whether I liked Anxious People because it was so bad. But nah, I like Anxious People. We'll put that up and This Guy Gets It. Martha Wells, All Systems Red. We'll put that in almost there. And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer. Actually, at this point, this is sliding down to overhyped for me. I liked it when I read it, but now everybody's talking about it and I don't think it deserves that much love. I think it's good. I think Bachman has better works. I just don't think it deserves the hype. A Thousand Splendid Suns. I'm gonna put that in almost there. I don't remember it well enough to totally put it in This Guy Gets It, but I did like it when I read it and I think it's pretty good. A Song for the Wild Bill. I actually just finished that like 2 days ago. And that's going in This Guy Gets It. Memory Called Empire. Nah, I put that in I Love That For You. I didn't think this was bad. It just didn't really work for me. Which is interesting because there's a lot of things in it I think I like. It just didn't quite work for me. A Man's Called Ove. I'll put that in the same thing. This to me was just very tropey and expected. So it wasn't as interesting to me as it could have been. 1984, same thing. It's kind of been a while since I've read this. Hasn't been since high school. And while it's good, not really a favorite of mine. Got two more here. Lakewood and Harry Potter. Alright. Lakewood, I'm going to go ahead and put in I Love That For You. This didn't quite do it for me, and I don't know why. It was working for me up until about 2/3, 3/4 of the way through it, and then it just kind of, I don't know, it didn't conclude in a satisfying way, and that really poisoned the feelings I had towards it. So that's that. Harry Potter, I'm gonna go ahead and put in respectfully. No. To be honest, I was never as hype on Harry Potter as a lot of other people were. But really, in the year of our Lord 2021, to put this on your favorites list and just really, so, I don't know, feels a little, leave the room maybe. All right, and we're down to our last row here. We're gonna start with Kindred, once my thing gets all sorted. Kindred by Octavia Butler, almost there. This didn't give me, it just doesn't, it's good. I just don't think it's gonna stick with me the way I was hoping it would. And that just kind of brings it down a little bit. In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. This Guy Gets It. House of Leaves, I'm actually gonna go ahead and put into almost there. This is a book that I loved when I finished it, but the more I sit on it, the less interested in it I get. And it was on my favorites list. One of, I think, for horror. But it's not sticking with me the way I expected it to. So, it's almost there. All right. Next up we have Her Body and Other Parties. I'm gonna go ahead and put that up in This Guy Gets It. This was a really good short story collection. I feel like I need to read it again, maybe physically, to really get out of it everything I could get out of it, but it was good. Robin Hood, which one is this? Is this Royal Assassin? Yeah. Royal Assassin. Oops, zoomed in too much. Now I gotta zoom back out. Royal Assassin, I'm gonna go ahead and put in almost there. This was my least favorite of the Farseer trilogy, so I just gotta give it a little bit of a duck down. Piranesi, Love That For You. This didn't quite work for me, and I'm actually a little sad about it. Like, all of my friends are super into this and loving it a lot, and I just didn't. And I don't know why. Like, I don't. It should have worked for me. Kurt Vonnegut, I'll go ahead, or Slaughterhouse-Five, I'll go ahead and put in almost there. This is another one. I loved it at the time I read it, but that was so long ago now that I don't know if I would still love it. There's this Ship of Magic. I'm gonna go ahead and put Ship of Magic in almost there because the rest of the series improves as it goes on. Seasons of Abaddon. This guy gets it. Ring Shout. This guy gets it. Remote Control. This guy gets it. This tier is going a lot more than I thought it would. Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I'm gonna put that in almost there. I think it's pretty good. It's getting a lot of hype lately though, so this is almost in the overhype range because like this year I saw so many people read it and like talking about it, and it didn't make it on that many people's favorites list, but like so many people were talking about it, and I just don't know if it deserves that, but I do think it's pretty good. Now, Oathbringer is overhyped. And the reason I'm saying Oathbringer is overhyped is to stand in for the fact that I think the entire Stormlight Archive, at the point I have read, is overhyped. I don't think it's bad. I just think all of Booktube that reads fantasy is wet for the Stormlight Archive, and I don't think it quite deserves that. Night of the Mannequins. This guy gets it. My Sister the Serial Killer, love that for you. This is another book club read, and we were really pretty divided on it. Most of us didn't really care for it. A couple people really loved it, and I think the main thing that decided those who loved it were the ones that saw it as more humorous. They seemed to enjoy it a lot more. For me, I think there was a cultural element I was just missing. To me, there was a lot of things they did that I chalk up to the culture that I would have been like, why are you still doing this? Like the loyalty and things like that. It just was uncomfortable, so. Middle Game. This guy gets it. Yeah, let me go ahead. I gotta shrink these ones down. They're getting progressively less organized as I go on. Alright, Lore Olympus. I'm gonna put this in almost there. I do think this is cute. I do think it's very good. It's cute. Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I'm gonna put this in Love That For You. Mostly because this is another book. I read this literally last year. Wasn't even a full 365 days ago, and I barely remember it. Like, I'm just left with nothing. So for me, that can't be something that really is a favorite at all. Ocean at the End of the Lane. I'm kind of feeling overhyped for this one. I liked it when I read it, and this is not, let me just be very clear that the overhyped category does not mean bad. I just think that a lot of people recommend Ocean at the End of the Lane as Neil Gaiman's, like, this is what you should read for Neil Gaiman. And while I haven't read a lot of Neil Gaiman, if that's as good as he gets, I don't know. I think it's good, just not that good. Poppy War, this guy gets it. The Night Circus, ooh, this guy gets it. And to finish us out, The Only Good Indians, this guy gets it. So here is our final list. I don't know why, but I really thought I was going to be more negative than that on these books. I hadn't really looked at the list before I did this. I just kind of blindly copy and pasted the book covers, and I am pleasantly surprised by how positive this ended up being. That said, I mostly read books I like, so I guess that makes sense. Yeah. So I would say anything in the almost there or this guy gets it, I would recommend. Anyway, I would say anything that's in that top tier, the top two tiers. If you have similar taste to me, you'll probably enjoy those. The Love That For You category, you might enjoy. I think those are good books. They just didn't work for me. Overhyped. Judge it as you want. No, stay away from. That's it for me. Let me know down below. Are there any of these you really think I put in the wrong space and I should maybe have moved differently? Please feel free. Defend Stormlight Archive in the comments. Defend The Hobbit in the comments. Go for it. And that'll be it for me. And we're almost done with my year-end videos. So love y'all. See you next time. Bye.